Are those who directly report to the CEO. There are 19 positions in total. According to the agreement, by 2017, 50% of these roles should have been held by Liberians. Today, as of the date of this press conference, only 42 out of the 19, 42%, which is 8 out of the 19, are held by Liberians. The worst of it all, AMLs continue to employ foreigners in roles where Liberians are fully qualified and capable, including the Chief Information Officer, foreign, the Chief Position Officer, foreign, Security Risk Advisor, foreign, and Chief of Staff to the CEO. Mid-level positions that are also supposed to be occupied by Liberians. And we are not met the 50% quota, but yet we are at 42%. These are all senior management positions that Liberians are more qualified to handle. Even more egregious, AML employs foreigners in mid-level technical roles such as truck maintenance, foreman, wedding supervisor, among others, who report to Liberians. If Liberians are competent enough to supervise people in those roles, why are these roles not held by other Liberians? 4. Violation of scholarship funding obligation under Article 9 of the 2007 Amendment. Article 9 of the amended MDA explicitly mandates Asylum-Meta to provide an annual sum of $200,000 for advanced scholarship for qualified Liberian citizens abroad. This obligation was to commence immediately after the 2007 amendment, meaning Liberia should have received $3.6 million over the past year of that scholarship program. In AML's own 2022 report to the National Investment Commission, it admits that payments only began in 2012 instead of 2007. That's a key point. 5 years late. This is unacceptable. While we acknowledge AML contribution in vocational training in Yukepa and Bikena, scholarship funding is not a favor from AML. It is a legal obligation under the AML. We demand full accountability and restitution of the missing funds from the $3.6 million in scholarship fund to date. 5. So-called $1.4 billion infrastructure that is not real. The much talk about $1.4 billion iron ore plant is not an investment for Liberia, and I maintain that, as it can be dismantled at any point in time by AML if it wishes to do so. Unlike the one built by Mita in Brazil and other countries, which are made of steel and concrete, the one built in Nimba is made of prefab irons with screw meant to stay just for the duration of AML investment. It can be dismantled at any time. Thereby, it disqualifies that infrastructure as an investment for Liberia, but more of a value-added instrument to make AML richer, since, in fact, the labor cost in Liberia to operate that plant would be far more cheaper than what AML is doing right now in Europe. The cost of that plant was also exaggerated. It was exaggerated by AML as the original BAQ viewed by sources privileged to us is that that plant cost no more than $550 million instead of $1.4 billion. Again, an example of AML overstatement of expenditure to avoid paying proper taxes and dividends to the people of Nimba and Liberia. Doesn't even make sense, even if it were worth $1.4 billion, for an investment to be placed in a filthy area with no roads leading to. Number 6, transfer pricing. Transfer pricing has been one of the main reasons for lack of dividend. Asylum-Meta uses the strategy of transfer pricing to avoid declaring profit from which Liberia could benefit dividend as per the MDA. We have raised this concern that On many occasions, the company has been engaging in transfer pricing practices that result in under-reporting of profit to Liberia. This involves setting the price of goods and services provided to related entities at the levels that do not reflect market value, thereby reducing the reported profit in Liberia and subsequently the dividends owed to the government under the MDA. In light of these sustained failures, ladies and gentlemen of the press, my fellow Nimbayans and Liberians, we strongly recommend that the government of Liberia through the IMCC, the Interministerial Committee on Concession, to take the demands of the people of Nimba and Liberia very seriously, as previously outlined in many of our communication and press statements of the past, subsequent to the following. The pavement of the road from Sanibori to Ikepa become a binding line item within any MDA. That the AMF increase the social development funds to Nimba County and the 2 other affected counties. That the AMF sees the construction of containers in Ikepa in favor of renovating the housing units in Ikepa. Enforce a non-negotiable clause mandating the appointment of 1 Liberian among the top 3 leadership positions in AML. To pay the arrears owed since 2007 to the scholarship funds, which would lead to the awardings of scholarship to more students and establish a transparent, monitored fund for scholarship and community development to ensure that Meta fulfill its obligation to the people. Institute quarterly progress report on AMS compliance with the MDA to be viewed publicly by the legislature and the affected communities. Abolish transfer pricing and declare transparent financial reporting for Liberia to be able to benefit from the dividend of declared profits. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, my fellow Nimbayans and Liberians, we must not be swayed by the news of $1 billion infrastructure, headlines that are meant solely to benefit the export of AML, while the people remain impoverished and forgotten. Development must be inclusive, accountable, and rooted in social justice for our people. To the people of Nimba and Liberia at large, we must not settle for less. We deserve more. The next MDA must reflect the true aspiration of our people and hold AML accountable for its track record. Again, if these demands and these non-negotiable demands are not met, we will lead the process of resisting the renewal of any kind of MDA in favor of Meta. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen of the press, the senator will take at most 5 questions regarding the presentation. So, yeah, Nimba TV.
Okay, so on Twayan, my name is Joe Songwe. I report for Nimba TV. Okay, so with all of this statement that you read, why this statement was not made public during the dedication of the concentrator center in Nimba of recent?
First of all,
the caucus to make a statement during the program.
The caucus sadly was not invited by AML. The caucus was not invited by AML as far as we are concerned to that program. And they know why. Probably because of the strong stance that the caucus has been taking in recent time. Meta thought it wise to not invite the legislative caucus and Nimba candidate to that program. And that will not stop us from escalating our views and our opposition to the renewal of the MDA if our demands are not met.
Just a follow-up to that question. I mean, there is your government. Not actually police are this court, but there is your government. I'm concerned about the kind of conversation you've had with the president who's also being concerned about Liberians' welfare, giving them job. What has the president said?
The president is in line with whatever will improve the lives of the people. A 10-year program does not in any way suggest that maybe, the president thinks otherwise than what we think. No, we think the same way. And I guess, at the appropriate time when the IMCC reports to the president, he will be making his own position known to the press. But until then, we have a duty and obligation to the people of Nimba, and the reports are confident ought to stand by them. So we don't even need the approval of anybody else to make those calls.
Okay, that front page. And then punch will be the last.
Good afternoon, Senator. What do you make of report or concerns from some of your locals that the construction of this concentrator iron ore plant will actually provide job opportunities to about 5,000 of them? How do you think that your call will somehow hinder the employment opportunities of your own constituents?
First of all, that is just a mere bluff. As AML, herself, they been here, they should have created up to 8,000 jobs for the duration that they've been here for more than 20 years. Ask them how many jobs they have created in the country. Less than half of that. So promising that there will be 5,000 jobs created at the new plant is just one of those smoky talks that AML brings around all of the time to get bad time and hypnotize people and make it look like they're going to do something better. I don't believe in anything that they said. They have broken the rules and regulation binding them within the MDA multiple times. So I don't believe anything they say.
Finally, are you disappointed in some of your colleagues who have been there for some time that they are not being able to bring forth some of these things you are pointing out today?
There's time for everything. I cannot speak of my colleagues in the past. We are in the present, and that's why we are doing the right thing.
Finally, colleagues will take the last two punch quickly.
Good afternoon, Senator. My name is Yaga, and I report for Punch FM. As legislative caucus of Nimba County, I want to know what step have you taken and what step you plan to take to hold ArcelorMittal accountable for its obligation to Nimba. And secondly is, do you have the political will to renegotiate ArcelorMittal deal with the coalition in the legislature to favor your county?
Yes, the latter part of your question, I personally has asked the plenary of Liberian Senate. I have made it an issue that the Senate has agreed to stand with me and to stand with the Senate caucus of Nimba County, in making sure that we play a significant role in these negotiations and that at least let the deal meet the aspiration of the people. The Senate has given me their backing that they will be standing by us. So it is based upon that you see us drawing all of these plans because we know fully whether our colleagues will stand by us. We are encouraging members of the House of Representatives to also do so. My colleagues in the caucus are also lobbying with our colleagues in the House of Representatives so that, there are certain decisions that come from the executive here, and we have a tradition here at the legislature that the caucus must approve that decision, especially if it has something to do with your county. We want to bring that same tradition to concession agreements, whereby legislative caucus must be able to give a green light, to those proposals before they are even discussed by both houses. So we hope this time around that how it will be. We're going to create all the necessary checkpoints and the perimeters so that there will be no leakages for the deal to pass on our hands the way it did in 2007. There have been many times the legislative caucus, even boycotted some of the hearings, but it didn't yield to any result because we were outnumbered. This time around, we are trying to patch all the leakages so that, they will not use inducement and other, lawmakers to have this deal passed. Pack up and leave. I can tell you, within 2 minutes, you will see other companies wanting to come and take over our mineral resources. Nobody should lie to you. We are in demand. We are the price. They are not the price.
Okay, so final question
yes.
from Cool FM quickly.
So, Senator, my name is, let me just ask a question.
Yeah, but let's go by the arrangement. Cool first, then we'll squeeze you.
Okay.
My name is Theophilus and I report for Cool FM. Mr. Senator, grading ArcelorMittal since they came in Liberia, how can you grade them in your county?
Oh, well, you see, numbers don't lie, right? So if I would grade ArcelorMittal, it would be below 50%.
So it means that they are not doing nothing in the county?
They are doing things, but not adequately.
Adequately?
Yeah.
As per the plant you talked about, temporary plants, how factual is that information, sir?
About what?
The plant, you said, screwing the plant if they want
to... There's nothing over there that is not removable. If ArcelorMittal decide today to take that plant down and ship it back to Europe, they will do it tonight.
Are you serious?
Yes, go and verify it.
Okay. So
Those are all prefab materials they just screw together. They can dismantle it and take it to another mine in another country anytime, any day. And that is not an investment for us. They just brought it to, make that iron ore much more richer to sell it in Europe, because right now they're washing the ore in Europe. There will be high labor costs attached to it. Now they're bringing it here. They have built that plant, which they should have built almost 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, to wash the iron ore here to get add value to that ore to go. It will add no significant, additional impact to us, other than to just maybe bring additional environmental degradation. Something that next week I'm going to be writing the EPA to give us a full and comprehensive environmental impact study on that plant that was built, because up to now we haven't seen anything public as such, so that our people, the waters and the communities around there, will not be polluted at the detriment of our people. Washing tons and tons of iron ore in that plant is no joke. So we need to know the impact on the environment.
Well,
So,
thank you,
Senator-
ladies and gentlemen of the press. Thank you very much. The copy of the statement.